Hey, how are you doing? My name is Shu. I'm a former data scientist and now full-time creator. So, linking notes became a kind of big trend ever since this note app called Roam Research came out. It is really fun at first, but in my experience, it gets tiring to keep doing it every time you write something. But when we started seeing this huge AI development, I thought it could solve this issue. And like I thought, we began to see note apps with AI, like Mem, which uses AI to connect the dots and ideas together instead of the user having to do it manually. And this new note-taking app is one of them, but I think it does the job really well, so I was really excited to try it out and make a review of it. So the interface is quite similar to the other note apps. You have this sidebar where you can make a new note, search, see your notes and tags. The daily note is called Timeline, where you can dump all your thoughts, ideas, and tasks. You get to switch to the daily, weekly, and monthly view, which is nice. For writing, you can write in Markdown and insert things like images and tables. It's all pretty standard so far, but what makes it stand out is the AI features. So for starters, it has a built-in AI chat you can use anytime. So when you have a question about something you're writing, you can just open the chat and ask the AI. Since it has access to the internet, you can ask pretty much anything, including the latest events and the news. I like that responses are fast and the conversations are automatically saved in your knowledge base, so you can find them easily later. Or if you want to write based on them, you can turn them into a new note. But what I like about this app is that you can use this AI chat to ask about your own notes. So if you're writing about reading strategies, for example, you can ask something like, what notes do I have about reading strategies? And it fetches some relevant notes and generates an answer based on them. Or you could ask about what you talked about with your friend or colleague or someone, and it will get an answer based on your daily note or meeting notes. There are already a few note apps that do this like Mem, but still this is really useful. Previously, you have to rely on the app's search function to find a note, manually scrolling through notes after notes to find the one you're looking for. But now you can just ask AI to gather all the relevant notes for you. It's a massive time saver. Also, it's kind of cool that it gives you the graph view option to see all the notes at a glance. But to keep track of your conversations with your friends and colleagues and manage your relationships, I prefer using a dedicated app like Dex. I've been a huge fan of it for a long time, and I'm happy that they're sponsoring this video today. You know, when you become an adult, you meet a lot of people both in real life and online, but it's hard to keep track of all of them because their information is scattered across different apps and websites like Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And also, you probably have a bunch of business cards as well. Essentially, Dex gathers all the information about people you know in one place and creates an unified list where you can see information like where they work, email, and mobile number. So whenever you need to reach out to someone, you don't have to spend hours searching for their contact information in different places. Instead, you can just open Dex, find that person, and send them a message. If you don't know what to say, you can get a little help from AI to come up with a conversation starter. When I met someone new, I usually scan their business card in Dex or import their information using the browser extension, which works on almost all social networking websites. And then I just add a note or reminder so I don't forget to send a message to them. This is actually my most favorite thing about Dex. Being able to set a reminder to reach out to someone or to get notified when someone's birthday is coming up is really helpful because I always struggle to stay in touch with my friends and people. So it's not just for business, I actually use it a lot just to remember to have a regular catch-up with my friends. Otherwise, people just sort of fade away into the background of my life, which is really sad. Anyway, if you're interested in using Dex, you can download it from the link in the description or just scan the QR code on the screen. Alright, let's get back to Saner.ai. If you're really into AI and have a favorite model, you can choose it from the list. I see most of the popular ones are here. However, the cost of using them are not included in the subscription fees, which means you have to pay extra to use them. But they are affordable options like GPT-4 Mini, which is very cheap, but still really good. And another thing I really like about this app is that you can personalize your AI responses. From the settings menu, you have an option to give them instruction on how you'd want it to respond to you, like what to call you and what kind of personality you want it to have. Here it says I'm an explorer type for some reason, and I have no idea what that means. But when I signed up at first, it made me take a bunch of questions to determine my personality type or something. And apparently I'm an explorer type. And I think based on that, it decides what kind of responses I will get. But of course, I can change this anytime if I don't like it. One more aspect where AI shines is auto tagging. Again, they're not the first ones to do this. Apps like Napkin does auto tagging to organize your notes, but still, there aren't many apps that have it. So I was kind of excited when I found this feature. Tagging is really useful to keep your knowledge base tidy, but it's also absolutely time-consuming and cumbersome to do it every time you make a new note. So if AI could do it for me, that would be awesome. Like the other apps, the accuracy of the tags remains a question. So I still find myself having to correct the generated tags or make them manually sometimes, but I think over time the accuracy will improve. Also, I forgot to mention another useful feature. As you write, the app will automatically detect related notes and create a list of them in the right sidebar. It's kind of similar to the that AI chat feature I just talked about. So even without you asking for it, it will suggest relevant notes for you. This way you might discover previous notes you made which you may have forgotten about. Or you can avoid making duplicate notes and instead build up on the existing ones. Now, I love when an auto app comes with a web clipper because it's nice to be able to save my favorite stuff online directly into my notes. Saner.ai's web clipper is not great, but decent. For example, if you find a passage you want to save to your notes, you can just highlight it and choose to make a new note, which will open up the sidebar. If you want to add more, just do the same thing again. And you also save the original URL in the note, so it's easy for you to find the source. Now, most new note apps usually don't have a mobile app, which is the case for this note app as well, but it does have a way to access your notes from your phone using Telegram. There are a few commands you can use, such as ask, to do, and note. If you want to retrieve some information, you can type ask, for example, and what you want to know. Similarly, you can add a new to-do and new note. Overall, the experience might be not as good as having a proper mobile app, but until that happens, this is a decent solution. I think this is such a great app and I'm very excited to see what it will become, but I also think that other apps will probably move towards the same direction. That means they will also have these fancy AI features soon, like the AI chat, AI semantic search, and so on. And some of the apps already have these, so honestly speaking, I'm not sure if it's a good idea to completely move to this app or even any other note app right now. Things change really quickly with AI and there are going to be more and more new note apps like every other month. So you can check them out, and if you really like one, you can move to it. Otherwise, it's probably better to stick with the one you currently use. That way you can save time having to learn a new app. Well, if you want to try this app, you can do it for free from the description. I put the link here. It has a note importer for various formats like Markdown, PDFs, and Word documents. Or if you're transitioning from a specific app such as Evernote, Notion, and Obsidian, you can do that as well. Alright, thank you so much for watching until the end. Thank you for sticking around. I really appreciate that. Alright, see you in the next one. Bye.